everybody, happy Sunday. I hope that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, you are having an amazing weekend. I'm not having the amazing weekend that I would have hoped. It's actually Wednesday when I'm recording this, and it's supposed to be my day off. In fact, I was supposed to go and have a coffee with someone this morning, but I had to cancel because we lost water. And I know this is technically not really a chicken and garden update, but I'm making it so because, you know, this is part of life in the country. We have a well. We have a well that provides us with water. We have an off-grid septic system that has to be pumped out every so many years. And this morning, we lost water pressure. Now this system, this is our pump house here, and it is quite a nasty little space. I mean, it's not the nicest place on the block, but there are two pumps. There's a pump that we use to pump our water out of the ground. That's the well pump. And then there is a second pump that takes the water from a reservoir that I'm actually standing above right now and then sends it down to the house. And that pump has broken completely because the well pump stopped working. The well pump stopped working because what happened was that we've had three power cuts due to all of these winter storms that have been passing through. Luckily, we're not in California where they've had like incredible floods, and my heart goes out to anybody who is involved. I hope if you've been evacuated that you are safe and well, and I'm sorry that this is happening. We didn't get the heavy rain, although we did get some really nasty downpours, but we did get really strong winds. And I don't know if you know this, but we have tall trees. I mean, this tree right behind me here, this one, we call that tree ancestor because it's really tall, and you can see the trees behind me as well. Very, very tall trees, and lots of trees on the way down to the local town were blown down in the most recent storm, and that caused our power to go out 3 times. When the power goes out in a storm, as I'm sure most of you who've experienced one knows, it kind of flickers for a bit and then it goes off. That flickering can cause surges in electrical lines, and that, I think, is what happened to the control circuitry in that building for our pump. And that meant that our pump stopped pumping water from the ground up into the well house. Because we have a 1,000 gallon tank underneath my feet, it wasn't initially apparent that it had stopped working. And so the pump that I'm standing next to here, the pump that actually pumps the water down to the house, that pump just carried on running. It didn't have any protection on it, and it has broken. So while the well pump now works again and is capable of pumping water from the ground to the well house, the pump that gets the water from the underground reservoir to our house is not working. And yeah, it's going to be about between $3,000 and $4,000 to fix, depending on if we go for an AC system or a 3-phase system. And at the moment, it's looking like we're going to lean towards a 3-phase system. In fact, the well repair guys are probably going to be coming back here any moment. And the reason why we're looking at a 3-phase system is because they have a lower inrush current. Inrush current is effectively the electrical current that happens when you turn on a motor. There's that brief blip in current that comes from that motor turning on, and it can be quite high, and you need to have a system that is capable of dealing with that inrush current. And it's much easier to have a system, a 3-phase system. Even if you don't have 3-phase, we don't have 3-phase here, we actually have single phase. It's much easier to have that system power a 3-phase inverter and then power a 3-phase pump. The current demands on the house are going to be lower than they would be if we had just a replacement single phase pump. Apparently that's a 2 horsepower motor, and we don't need a 2 horsepower motor, so they're going to recommend that we go to a 1 horsepower motor, which should be just fine for both the chickens and ourselves. But at the same point, yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. Anyway, that's money we didn't expect to spend today. And as let me finish my thought, because I was having a little bit of a brain fart there. The reason we're looking at 3-phase power is because 3-phase power allows us to have a variable pump speed. A variable pump speed giving us a fairly constant water pressure, but a variable pump speed also has the ability to soft start, so it does away with a lot of the inrush current of a single phase motor, and that will make it easier on this system to provide power to the well and have water when there is a power cut. And if you remember, one of the reasons we wanted to get this entire system was so that when the power went out, we were capable of powering our house and our pumps from the truck. So far, that's not been possible. A little bit of an update. I got an email. We've had a couple of emails from one of the chief engineers at Sunrun who's trying to sort out why our system isn't working. They want us to get rid of the span panel completely. The span panel's not even commissioned yet, so hopefully we'll fix that and figure out why things are broken there. And there's a very naughty chicken. You should not be here. You should be inside your little run. Why are you out? Go on. There you go. You're a smart chicken, see? Smart chickens know. I tell them they need to be in a different place and they go into a different place. Charlie and 2 of the youngsters are over there, which is not where we want them to be because that's where the coyotes are. Not good. There's been some other challenges because of the storm damage. This post here, which holds our deck in place, that's going to need replacing. The previous owners put it in and they didn't concrete it or put any kind of foundations in. Unlike the chicken coop, when we built the chicken coop, we actually used concrete and we actually did everything properly. They just kind of did a half-assed job, so we'll have to fix that this year, which is a frustration from the you know, all the other things that we have to do this year. Do we have any eggs today? No eggs yet, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get any eggs. The chickens are now being let out, as you can see. They're not being let out all of the time. The reason being that the chickens really do not like being cooped up, and it doesn't do them a whole lot of good from their health perspective. If they can forage for food themselves and find bugs and things to eat and grass, they will naturally be in a much better place, a much healthier place. And they produce healthier eggs as a result. As you know, I eat a fair number of eggs, or rather I eat a fair number of egg whites since I started on my diet. And that is a really good thing. The quality of the eggs are better if the chickens have free roaming capabilities. Come on, you guys, you need to go back in. Charlie, you're just going to jump over. Come on. Yeah, don't say that to me. Come on. Come on. He's ever so funny when he's got a bit of a kind of an attitude. Roosters, as they get older, develop more and more of an attitude. And Charlie has definitely got that attitude now. He wants me to open the door. They're not stupid. Look. He wants me to open the door so he can jump back in because he knows that's the way I normally do it. Although they may just fly back. Are you going to fly back? Nope, you're just going to jump back in and do the birdie jumpy thing. There they go. They've jumped back in. They're smart birds. Chickens really are the smartest most of the time. I've had some dumb chickens in my time. There you go, you're back in now. Isn't that lovely? Right, it's gonna rain in a bit, so hopefully they will stay in this time. In terms of garden prep, my greenhouse did not survive the winter. My kind of makeshift greenhouse. Please excuse me, I need to kick this door. It's been so wet The door has expanded, the wood has expanded, so it's a little stiff. The greenhouse behind me has not really survived the winter. It needs a new outer shell plastic cover for it. And we do have plans, as we discussed at the end of last year, to build our own greenhouse. The problem is the weather's just been really beastly and we haven't wanted to be out in the garden. The cold weather that we had, because I forget, we had ice rain. It's been nearly a month since I've recorded a chicken and garden update. We had ice rain, very, very cold temperatures, and that's resulted in my fava beans dying, my other plants dying, everything looking really unhappy. And then the deer got in again and helped themselves. So, and it looks like the chickens have been in here today, which is, you know, I have no problem with the chickens coming into this, as long as they don't come in when things are actively growing. And right now, all of the areas with actively growing plants have been blocked off because we had an incident last week. So my strawberries are being blocked off here, the garlic is blocked off, and the strawberries and the raspberries are blocked off. So, c'est la vie. But the biggest reporting is that the weather has just been so beastly. We've had so much rain. The ground is so wet. I cannot do anything here. Even the truck has dug itself in. I'll show you the back of a deer atal here. A deer atal has been digging itself into the mud here. I know we need to fix that this year, but it is just so muddy and horrible and wet and icky that we just can't do anything. And I haven't bothered to clean the truck because look, it's just it gets filthy just going down the valley or up the valley, depending which way you want to look at it. So at that point, I think it's safe to say that the truck is probably going to stay like this until the end of the winter, and then hopefully I'll be able to treat it to a nice bath. And hopefully the ceramic coat will have done its thing and everything will be nice and shiny underneath. I don't really have anything else to report from the chicken and garden update other than my Christmas cactus is flowering and it looks amazing. Maybe I'll actually put a picture of that up right now. And I also lost a geranium to black rot, whatever it's called. But I was able to snip off the 2 remaining healthy stems, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I've saved them and I will be able to turn them into a cutting and that I will be able to still have that plant in the summertime. Plants are great. Even if you lose the original plant, you can sometimes save the plant down the line, and I think that is a wonderful thing. That is indeed a wonderful thing. But on that note, we are in fact done with today's chicken and garden update. Don't forget we'll be talking about the Sunday musing also on this channel, so go check that out if you haven't already. If you like today's video, you know what to do, and feel free to tip us with a super thanks. The comments are open for your thoughts, as is our Discord chat room. Links are below, and if you know what we should do with our pump, please tell us. I mean, we've probably already made the decision at the time that this goes out because it's Wednesday and I would like to have water by the end of today. If you want more from this channel, subscribe, hit the bell and follow the links to regularly support us through a YouTube membership or a Patreon subscription. You'll also find links to our Ko-fi, Bitcoin and Swag store, and check us out on Mastodon because we have our own server. It's very cool. Scrolling on my right is the list of amazing supporters at the charged up level, and shout outs go out to our self-driving supporters: Mike Weeder, Linda Irish, Sean Tucker, Patrick Boyarsky, Paul Nelson, Chris Maxwell, Brian Newton, Michael Goad, Bennett Elder, Andrew Martin, Pedro Mora Pinheiro, Brophy Wolf, Chris and Michael Johnson, Tazlet and the Gong, Dan Blair, Peter Dillinger, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Regine Fellows, Denny Hyde, Chris Centaur and Jim Burness. Finally, out of this world thanks go to our Starman level supporters: Andrew Glenn, Anonymous Freak, JP Fagerback, Joe Bresney, John Lyons, Rory Litwin, Kevin Burrowbridge, Dave Kitchen, Aaron Hahn, Laura Reynolds, Marcel Ward, Matthew Drobnak, Paul Conway, Reggie Watts, Will Graylin and Ian. I will be back soon next week with another chicken and garden update and with other content on the main channel. But until then, keep evolving.